Classroom of the Elite Season 4 has just been announced. We are finally getting the second year animated. And I know what you are thinking. What studio? And as of yet, it's not confirmed. We don't know if it will be the same Studio Lurch or some other ones. I don't know, like Studio Dean, etc. I mean, guys, it's not like Classroom of the Elite is a very popular series that generates a lot of money so that more money could be invested for a better adaptation. Totally not the case. Moving on, we also don't know about the date. This was just an announcement to let people know that there will be a season 4 and maybe the work has already been started on it. But as of now, what we got was this visual for season 4. So initial thoughts. I know it's probably not the final design, but I'm gonna comment on it anyway. So starting with the bottom, we have Amasawa, who looks good. I mean, that's how we imagined her for anime. But I can't help but notice her legs looks really shrinked for some reason. Looks unnatural for someone who is physically trained. Totally not the Amasawa we know. Moving on, there's Hosen, and I don't know what to say. Something is odd, and I think it's his facial expression. There's not like much more intensity, or maybe it's the proportions that makes him look odd. I mean, in short, there is something with his design that looks odd, and I mean, probably they'll fix it. I hope so. Then there's Nanase, and she is perfect. Everything looks good. Same goes for Tsubaki. I don't see anything to criticize. They look really good. Then Yagami and Utomiya, a serious person who looks to have something to hide and gives off Kanzaki vibe, and a happy-go-lucky type smiling person who is probably a really nice guy. I don't see a problem with that. Nice in my opinion. And well, that was the visual, and I totally just did not ignore Ayanokoji, who is standing very strangely for some reason. I don't know why he is in that pose, but maybe it's just a perspective issue. And just for this visual, I mean, he should be more like this. You see the difference? And I don't know why he's that way, and I apologize if you can't unsee it. I'm sorry guys. We should move on from this visual. So the most important thing about this season 4, and I know this question is in the back of your mind ever since you heard the announcement, the adaptation of volumes. How much volume will this season cover? While looking at the first season, you could say 3-4 volumes, and you would be right within this context as well. Year 2 volume 4 is when the second uninhabited island exam ends, and that would be a good callback to the end of season 1 as well and how they ended it. Plus, it's totally reasonable to adapt 4 volumes for 12 or 13 episode anime. I can see it happening, but wait, do I hear myself correct? A totally reasonable adaptation of Classroom of the Elite? Are we even in the right timeline to even say that? They will absolutely find a way to mess this up. Like, you know, who's gonna adapt a 0.5 volume later on? Let's just adapt that into one episode in this season. We have done that before, and it's not like it was a problem. People loved it. I'm sure someone is gonna recommend that. Not to mention that they would do some unnecessary, uncalled for fan service, which, by the way, they would do in the whole series, but for some reason this episode will need an extra amount of fan service that nobody wants. We have seen that before. But let's just assume that it would not be a bad idea. So the question is, which episode will it be? Because you see, the events of Year 2 Volume 4.5 happens on the cruise ship. So the episode would need to be either at the end of the anime where the exam is ended and everyone's back, like all that action is done, and then there's a sort of filler laid back episode, and this makes the most sense if you're going to adapt it in one episode, do it at the very end. But there's one more option that I would not consider an option, but looking at the past, I think it's very much on the table for them. So the option goes like this. Maybe they want to end the season at a high, just like season 1, where at the end they announced the results and everyone was shocked. Maybe they want to do that again because this time there was also some shock for the first place. And well, if that's the end of the anime, then where would the Year 2 Volume 4.5 be? Well, just like season 1, they can decide to put it in between, maybe like an episode 7. The point here is that the episode would need to be before they depart for the island exam, since it's on the cruise ship. But the problem here is that they are going to adapt that one scene from here to volume 4.5. The one where Anakoji goes into the room filled with girls of Ichinose's class. Because, they need to do, again, some unnecessary fan service, and what better scene to do it than this one, except the pool scenes from the volume. And I just realized that there are going to be so much similar type of scenes in season 4 as there were in season 1. Back to the point, the problem is if they will do that scene before, then they absolutely will need to change the events, because that scene does make sense in the novel as Ichinose had confessed already to Ainakoji. But here that would not be the case, so the scene wouldn't make sense unless some strange reason is given, and how would that tie later on would still be a mystery. I'm sure they could do something about it, but I don't want to see this option. They should go with the first one if they must, and to be honest, I just hope they prove me wrong. I just want to see an absolutely good adaptation of this season. And we get further information with a teaser. We will get to know the date and the pacing of the anime, and I'm expecting the teaser to be somewhere around December maybe. Not sure about that, but let's see how that goes. Now enough about the potential negatives of the season, let's see the positive. We will get voices for characters that we have been imagining for quite some time. Amasawa, Hosen, Nanase, Tsubaki, Utomiya and Yagami. Here I imagine Amasawa would have that typical teasing Kohai voice maybe. Something similar to like this.
宇都宮です。よろしくお願いします。よろしくね。一緒の部活だったんだ。手取り足取り教えちゃったんすか?
Let me know which voice actors you have in mind for the characters. I'm interested to hear about that. I might do a video later about it, so do let me know in the comments and I will mention that in the video. And apart from getting voices, there's one more positives for this season, and that is the scenes that we are going to get. Like, as much as you might not like previous seasons for certain reasons, they did end up doing some great scenes for the anime. And as a light novel reader who have already enjoyed the volumes, getting some really good scenes won't hurt. So I'm sure we will be eating good about some of them. Hopefully. Moving on, personally I do think about different perspectives, like what if I have never read light novels? Will I have any problem with anime then, or would I have just continued to enjoy it till the end? Like, if you think about it, the reason we don't like anime is because we know what it could have been if adapted properly, and that's disappointing to think about. So, well, if you are an anime only or know someone who is, then just let me know that perspective and thoughts on the anime. Do you think it's solid and great, or do you have the same opinion of it being not good? Let me know. Anyways, at the end of the day, it's just a season. Even if it's not that good, we will watch it anyways. So these were just my initial thoughts. I might make a detailed video later. And if there's one thing that I could say to the anime productions, just don't mess it up this time.